Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're talking about Kona, I'm not sure entirely how to pronounce it, Rescue Beastie. And we're talking about some secret cards that you could potentially add into your deck to kind of beef it up. These ones that not very many people are using, not very expensive either, but they will honestly take your Kona deck up, to an insanely great deck. So essentially the way that Kona works is that if at the beginning of your second main phase, she is tapped, you get to put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. That could be any permanent. It doesn't have to be a creature necessarily. It could be, enchantment, a artifact, a creature, whatever, a battle if you really, really wanted to. And from there, you get to, just cheat some really, really big things out. So the way a lot of people are running her is like, Relic of Legends and stuff like that to kind of tap her. And then, she's going to be tapped before that second main phase. But I have some other stuff you could potentially run instead to kind of make it a little bit easier for you to start off with, as well as kind of, some secret tech essentially. So let's start out by saying, if you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share the video around and everything like that. All the support is huge. We're, slowly on our way towards 10,000 subscribers. We're at 7,506 or something like that today. We're slowly climbing. It's been really, really great. So make sure you, do all that kind of stuff. So start out with Nissa's Expedition. Now, a whole bunch of people in this deck are running like, Cultivate and, Rampant Growth, that kind of thing. But why don't you just turn that into a Convoke spell? Whether it's going to be convoking Kona or any other creature that you could potentially have in here with survival. There's other creatures with survival that you could potentially run in here too. This is going to allow you to be able to, tap those, convoke them out, and then get 2 basic lands onto the battlefield. It's not, get one into your hand and then one onto the battlefield or anything. This is more like an explosive vegetation. Even if, you just were to tap just Kona for it, then boom, it's going to be already, costing you just 4. It's really, really great in my opinion. And again, getting 2 basics out onto the battlefield. We've got these ones. So these ones here, thank you. Huge shout out to my brother Catscythe here for kind of helping me kind of find some of these. These ones are going to allow us to be able to tap Kona and then leave her tapped. It just is essentially, equipped creature is going to not untap during their controller's untap step. These are huge to just allow you to be able to sit there, tap her, leave her alone. That means that for the rest of your deck, you don't necessarily need to build in a whole bunch of different things that are like, convoke and all this kind of stuff, tap your creatures and everything. This is just boom, put it on, now it's done, right? They also all kind of buff up as well, like, +3, +3, +4, +3, +3, which means that you're going to potentially kind of get around some of that removal that is damage based, because all of a sudden now, it's going to be Kona's like 6 toughness and stuff. So that's going to be a lot easier to be able to potentially survive some of that bigger stuff there. I love it. You can also add some stuff to be able to untap then as well, if you do want to have Kona up for whatever reason to attack or whatever. We've also got these ones here, which are essentially the same thing, except we're looking at enchantments this time. So there's a couple enchantments here that are 4 to do it. Now, keep in mind that those ones there, you could potentially use on your opponents as well, right? Like if you've got Kona tapped down with one of them, then you could take this, put it onto the enemy's commander. This Cocoon is really, really cool though. So it's going to enter, you're going to tap a creature, put 3 pupa counters onto it. It's not going to untap during your untapped step. However, instead, you're going to remove a pupa counter at the start of at the beginning of your upkeep. And then if you can't, sacrifice it, put a +1 onto it, and then give it flying. Really, really awesome. I love this idea. It's just like, enables you to be able to get this kind of really great Kona engine going really, really quickly. And then, later on you get it buffed up and then you could chuck one of these onto her or something like that. There's a lot of different uses here. We've got Charametras Favor. So, if we did want to have it so Kona could tap something, you could just chuck Charametras Favor onto Kona and then Kona, I'm just going to mix up the two of them. I'm going to switch between the two of them. This is going to make it so that they are a mana dork. Really great. Also draws you a card. So, you know, if you did want to have it so you needed to tap her down, this is an option there. We've got Sentor Omen Reader. Now, this is one that kind of prompted me to make this video. I'm working on a different kind of deck tech for my Patreon, and this was one of them that I've got included in that deck because it's going to work really well with this. It's going to make it so that whenever this is tapped, creature spells you cast cost 2 less. Now, in a Kona build, you are going to have a lot of really, really big creatures. So making those cost 2 less in case, you know, you don't have Kona out, or, you know, if you wanted to play more than one thing, this is a really great option for it. I love this. This is really great. We've got Arena of Anxious. This is going to make it so that legendaries don't untap during their controller's untap steps. This is really cool. So, one, it's going to tap all those legendaries. Then they're not going to untap. So it's going to be this huge kind of stacks thing out on the board, making it so that if anyone has legendaries, they can't untap them. That's going to screw over so many commanders. Now, usually in like a Kona build, you're going to fill that up with a whole bunch of really, really big creatures, right? You don't necessarily need to have legendary creatures as a part of that. There is a lot of really big creatures that are not legendary that you could include in that if you wanted to run an Arena of the Ancients. We got Oak Street Innkeeper. As long as it's not your turn, tapped creatures you control have hexproof. Now, Connor's tapped, has hexproof, as long as it's not your turn. I love it. I love it. We've got Derrot Taxi. So when it enters the battlefield, you're going to exile a creature card from your graveyard. Now, it is likely that you potentially ended up with something, you know, getting hit by a removal, or someone else had a creature that got hit by a removal. You can use this. It does not have an actual crew. It's just tap 2 untapped creatures, and then you're going to become a copy of whatever creature it is. So whether that's a huge creature that you've put into your graveyard, or it's a creature that you've stolen from someone else, it's a really great use of it. And it, you know, you can tap down Kona with it really easily. Sword of Param. So this is going to make it so that if Kona is tapped, all of your creatures have +2/+0. All the tapped creatures. So that means that, you know, when you swing out with them, they're all now, unless they've got vigilance, they're all now going to have +2. If it is untapped, they're going to have +2 toughness instead. Not as great because we don't want Kona to be untapped. But, you know, you've then got the option of paying 3 to untap and then swing and then, you know, tap back down. Lots of really great uses of this that you could potentially have. Harvest Season. If you've got a big board, you're swinging out with your big board, right? Or, you know, even if you just got Kona on the board there, you're going to be able to use this really easily. You're in pure green. So now, boom, you're just going to get all of your forests out. You could potentially, you know, let's say you have just 3 creatures on board, right? You're going to get 3 lands from your battle onto your battlefield from your library. Amazing. We've got Hierophant Biotitan. So this is going to cost 12. Traditionally, you're reducing that by removing +1/+1 from among creatures you've got, but we could just cheat it out, right? Easy peasy. Vigilance, Ward, Reach, can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. It's going to remove something decent because, you know, most kind of just little blockers are going to have power 2. You're also going to likely have some kind of trample built into this anyway. And it's a 12/12. A huge creature that's not getting seen enough within this deck. We've got Sareth the Viper's Fang. So this is going to make it so that all your tapped creatures have deathproof. So when you swing with creatures, they have deathproof. And then your untapped ones have hexproof. But you can pay to instant speed untap Kona, right? To give her hexproof. Boom, 1, tap it down. Now Kona has hexproof, and you've just potentially stifled whatever instant they're reusing to remove her. We've got Nullstone Gargoyle. Oh man, I love this one. So whenever the first non-creature spell each turn is played, counter that. We are going to be playing lots of creatures in this deck. In fact, you know, this is a deck that you could easily have heaps of creatures with. So to be able to make it so you're countering their non-creature spells, whatever they're playing, whether it's a counter spell, whether it's, you know, yeah, whatever, it's really, really great. Yeah, I absolutely love this. I think it's a great kind of stacks the option to protect our board, like whether they're going to pay, you know, a whole bunch to Blasphemous Act and stuff, and it's going to get counted. So now they have to play something else before that. Really, really good. We got Shriekwood Devourer. Now, this one here is from the, Simic Jump Scare Precon, and it is absolutely insane. Whenever you attack with one or more creatures, you get to untap lands based off the greatest power of those creatures. This deck is going to be going crazy. Like, if you've got that, the Hierophant, you're going to untap 12 lands whenever you attack with one or more creatures. You could just literally attack with that, untap 12 lands, and then you're going into your main phase 2, and you've got, you know, Kona tapped, you're going to cheat something out and then play more things. Crazy great. We've got Titan of Industry here. Reach and Trample is really good. Then we've got also the ETB here of destroying an artifact or enchantment, you know, to be able to protect Kona or, you know, remove something that's stopping you being able to attack. Gain 5 life is less likely. It's most likely you're going to put a shield counter onto Kona, right, to just protect her. Now, some honorable mentions ones. These ones here are within, like, I think it was like 6% of decks. So obviously, you know, they're not quite as, you know, unknown, but I wanted to kind of mention them anyway because they are huge. Gather Courage. Convoke, give something +2/+2. You could play Kona, immediately play this, tap her down, give something else +2 or give her +2. It doesn't really matter because we're just going to use it to cheat something out next turn, and it's going to cost green. You literally just have to tap one green creature to be able to play this. And they've got Thunderhawk Gunship, giving all your attacking creatures flying, as well as additional, you know, Astartes, warrior creature tokens. You can use those for other things, whether it's, you know, crewing other vehicles you got, or just a chump block or whatever. I don't care what you're using them for. This part here is the important part, as well as the fact that, you know, it's got crew 2. You can use it to tap down Kona, and now, you know, it's manned and it's creature. Really cool. So that's it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Are there anything that you're running in your Kona deck that you don't see anyone else really running? I think this is an amazing card, and I think that this is a deck that people are going to be brewing for quite a while and finding some really cool stuff with. So hopefully this has helped you. Have a great day and goodbye.